Sister said my rich doctor fiance and baby trapped him years ago. Now she's begging me to save his career after he botched the surgery, even offering a favor in return. This is about my sister, Carol. Well, I'm gonna call her by her real name, because who cares? There's no better way of saying this, but yeah, Carol lured my fiancé into her skirts because she felt he was too handsome and rich for a plain-looking girl, me. She thought he deserved someone gorgeous, so she offered herself and that dumbass dick married her. Good for them, because I got rid of a cheater and found someone who actually deserved me. Hear me out, this is gonna be a long one because it goes back from 15 years ago when I was in my mid-20s. Now I am 41. Carol is 6 years younger to me and a complete opposite personality. She's that girl who gets the most attention in all family and social gatherings. And she ensured that she got one. Right from our childhood, she was more focused on getting dressed up and hanging out with friends. No doubt, she's pretty and what you call, dead drop gorgeous, and she's proud of it. She leaves no opportunity to flaunt her superficial beauty and look down upon others who don't fit her beauty standard, like me. She was always critical of my dressing sense and made fun of my not-so-social nature. As a kid, I was more inclined towards academia, so I was mostly seen with my books and comics instead of putting makeup on my Barbie. I didn't even own a Barbie. Carol and I never shared a sisterly bond. She considered herself to be a fashionista while I was a plain-looking girl. That's what she called me, plain. Well, she was right to an extent. I'm a simple woman, with no pomp and show, no over-the-top drama for attention. I'm calm and composed and like to be in my own space. Very early on, I left home for my high school and I couldn't be more relieved. Who wants to be around an entitled brat? Life was pretty much fun with my busy schedule in medical school. I used to visit home during holidays or spring break, and that too I kept my trips short. Things got straightened out with Carol as we had minimal encounters. Carol dropped out of high school to pursue a career in fashion. Later she again dropped out of fashion school for a modeling career. Until I was in touch with her, she got 2 photoshoot projects for a local apparel brand in 5 years. I'm not sure if we can call this a successful modeling career, which she often refers to. If you think I'm mean, hold on. After I moved out of the house, the bitterness between Carol and me subsided. We met twice a year for a few days. She didn't get enough opportunity to piss me off, so we were cool. In my freshman year in college, I met Smith. He was quite senior to me. He was pursuing his master's while I was in freshman year for a bachelor's degree. Besides, he had a couple of years of hands-on experience as a duty doctor. He was specializing as a heart specialist, one of the most reputed specializations. To add a cherry to the cake, he was handsome. He used to give lessons on the subject of the circulatory system to freshman students to earn some extra bucks and brush up his knowledge. He was popular for his simple teaching methods. More popular amongst the girls, because, you know who doesn't want to take lessons from a blue-eyed, 6'2", lean, and well-built university senior? I also took lessons from him and eventually, we started dating. In my final year of college, he proposed to me. After dating him for 4 years, I had no reason to say no. He was already working at a hospital by then. During holidays, when I went home, Mom saw the ring on my finger and asked. In the happy moments of festivities, I told her everything. She jumped in excitement because it is not usual that I get serious with anyone. Smith was the first guy I ever dated or had sex with. Mom asked me the details about Smith because she sniffed our marriage on the cards. Carol often used to say that I'm never gonna find a good man to marry me. By good, she meant rich and handsome. Whenever she got know that I was seeing a guy, she would remark, "He's so gonna run away. Your relationship won't even last for a week." So when Carol got to know about Smith, her eyes lit up and she wanted to know more about him. It was kinda unusual for her to take an interest in my life because it has always been very boring. I asked, "Why you want to know about him?" She said, "He's gonna be family. So I should know him." Mom asked me to call him for dinner on New Year's Eve. Later I got to know that Carol had asked Mom to invite Smith. We didn't have any plans for that year, so Smith agreed to tag along. When we reached home, we were greeted by Carol. It was quite surprising because Carol is a party person. She's never seen home on weekends. On New Year's, she is off for a week-long party with her friends, but this time she was at home. Quite surprising. Should have been alarming, right? But I didn't get bothered. I don't give a shit about others' life. I went home with Smith and my sister was floored by Smith. Her first comment was, "I thought you to be rich, but you're handsome too." Her flirtatious gestures were just so evident, it was just right on my face, yet I didn't take any heed. I was secure in my relationship. Throughout the evening, she made moves at him by complimenting him trivially, touching his arms and thighs unnecessarily, and forcing a conversation with him. She sat next to him at the dinner table. I gave her a look and she made a cute pout and said, "You get to sit with him every day, today I can be his arm candy." Everyone chuckled and we took it as light fun. During the conversation, she got to know that Smith goes for a walk after his dinner. As soon as he cleaned up after the dinner, she offered to give him a tour of the neighborhood. Smith looked at me, while I sat there with a straight face, not knowing what to say. Smith replied with an awkward yes and they both went out for a walk. That night, while we were driving back from my parents' place, Smith asked me if I noticed how Carol was flirting with him. I laughed and brushed it off, saying she's an attention seeker.